Do you ever feel like you are constantly behind, always playing catch up with your middle schooler homeschool program? No matter what you do, you feel like you just can't catch up. And even though it is the beginning of the school year, maybe you already feel like, how are we going to get to the end of the year if we're behind already? The good news is it might not be that you are actually behind per se. It could be that your tween is missing some essential skills that is not allowing them to do the work that you're asking them to do. And so today we are going to dive into that topic of how do you assess your tween skills to see where are the gaps and how can you help fill them. If we haven't met before, hello, I'm Marina Joy. I'm a veteran homeschool mom, and I help moms of tweens that are homeschooling middle school help create those systems and methods of getting things done that actually work. Not what looks good on Pinterest, not what looks good just on a page, not some ideal, but real life in the trenches of daily living. How do you get it done? That's what I help moms with. So the first thing we're going to talk about is only relying on grade levels. Perhaps you purchased some curriculum. Your kid is in grade six, whatever that means. It's different from province to province, from state to state, depending where you are in the world. That will also be different. Whatever the case, they are in grade 6. So you purchased curriculum for grade 6. And now you have started with the school year. They're trying to do that curriculum. And you think, this is not working. So here's the question that you want to ask to figure out if they are at the appropriate level. Like, do they have the curriculum that is appropriate for the level that they're actually at? So here's that one question. What can they do consistently and independently right now? What can they do consistently and independently right now? That's going to be a better indicator of what grade they should be in than anything else. So two parts of that: consistently. Maybe they fluked out one time and they just got it done. You know, you've done those things where you made a wild guess and you got something right and you thought, I'm so smart. And then you had to apply the concept to another domain, area, and you're like, I have no idea. So if your tween gets something right one time, okay, can they get it right twice? 3 times? Can they do it consistently? Then they're probably at the correct level. And the second part of that is independently. So how much help do they need? How much prompting do they need to get it done? If they need you standing over their shoulder, prompting them, okay, so here's what the next step is. What do you think you should do next? And you're giving them hints. That's not independently. They don't actually understand it. So maybe they're not at the right level yet. So that is the first one. We're not just relying on what grade level it says on the front of the book. The second thing when we are diagnosing their actual skill level is we are going to test some skills in isolation. And what this means is if you think, or your kid thinks, I'm just bad at math. It doesn't mean they are bad at math. It could be they don't understand how to read the instructions. They need some reading comprehension. It might not be a math issue at all. It might be a reading comprehension issue. So we want to isolate the skills and see what is actually going on. And when we think, we're bad at math as a generalization, they might totally master and be fabulous at fractions. But then when it comes to starting algebra, they're like, I have no idea. like different forms of math. What is their number sense like? Do they have number sense? Like, let's look at that in isolation. Maybe they're great with addition and subtraction. They can manipulate numbers those ways very easily. And it comes to multiplication and division, and they struggle. So again, they're not bad at math. They have trouble with an isolated skill that once improved, it's going to bring up the skills overall. And the third way we want to diagnose their actual skill level is to watch when they're doing the work and see, when are they moving forward at a good rate? When do they stop? When do they get frustrated? What prompts that frustration? If, they just get started with it, 10 minutes in, they're pulling their hair out, they're crying, they're stomping away from the table, I can't do this, all of that stuff. Maybe it's too hard. And that's okay. Then you know that. However, some kids, the second they can't do something, they declare it too hard, they don't want to try, and they want to move on. And you need to encourage them to work through that. We need to develop kind of a growth mindset and say, okay, how can we do this? What is it going to take to be able to do this? Growth mindset is so important. It could be that they know one aspect of something, but then you're asking them to put something together and they're just not sure how to do that. They might know how to write a sentence, they might know how to write a paragraph, and you say, okay, let's do a 5-paragraph essay. They have a complete meltdown. And you're like, what is the problem? You're a good writer. Well, the problem is they don't understand how to logically organize their thoughts in a longer form. So that needs to be taught, and that can be taught. And so when we're looking at, what is their skill level? Well, their skill level is they're able to do sentences and paragraphs, but they're not skilled in essays yet. So then it's time to show them, okay, here's how we did with sentences. Here's what we did with paragraphs. Now, when we're doing an essay, these are the kind of paragraphs we need to build. We're going to put the structure like this so that we have a logical argument down the page. And that it's cohesive down the page. You're going to start with an introduction, then you give your 3 points, you're going to end with a conclusion. Oh, okay. So it might just be they have foundational skills, but haven't been taught the skills to take it to the next level. It doesn't mean they're not at grade level. It just means, oh, now I know exactly what we need to do in order to get them to the next step. The key is when you are assessing and you're looking at, okay, what are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? We don't want to be pulling our kids so far, stretching them so far that they break. But on the other hand, we don't want something so easy and so within their current skill set that they're not challenged either. Now, Andrew Pudewa always says easy +1. And I know that when we were homeschooling, I applied that philosophy a lot and it was super helpful. So you take where they're at and you stretch a little bit. It's that growth mindset too, right? We stretch a little bit. We know, oh, okay, we can do this. We just have to learn how to do it. And then they practice it. Now they're good at that. Now you're going to stretch another +1 and keep going. And that's how it progresses through the course of the year. So instead of panicking, thinking, oh my goodness, I bought this curriculum, my kid can't do it, now we're already behind, take a step back, look at the assessment that we just talked about. So we're not relying on grade level. We're looking at okay, where are they actually at in their skill set? We are going to look at skills in isolation and be a little bit like a detective and say, okay, where are the missing pieces in this puzzle? What pieces do we need to add in order to complete the puzzle? And we want to watch for this flow or frustration to flow ratio, meaning how long does it take for them to get frustrated and feel like giving up? If it is too soon, it might be too hard. We need to step it back just a bit. All right, if you found this helpful, I invite you to sign up. I invite you to sign up for my Tween Talk email list. I send out helpful tips and encouragement and support and resources, all sorts of things for middle school homeschooling so that you can have a successful year this year. So you don't have to feel behind, so that you can keep moving forward and achieve your goals during these middle school years that are going to help build skills for those homeschool or for the high school years and beyond. I have put a link below in the description, so go ahead, go there now and sign up so you can get all of that in your inbox.